right now in light of the political, economic, societal climate and all the things that are happening in the online marketing space for service providers. And there's always something that's affecting entrepreneurs. We really feel it all, I think. And it really impacts how we're showing up for ourselves in business, what we're seeing in relation to our businesses, and what is next being required for ourselves to deliver for business. And within our leadership, the emotional resilience, the energetic intelligence that we get to be able to expand as we are growing our businesses. And so I wanted to start to have a conversation around this and to introduce everyone to Chantelle as well. So Chantelle is the lead on our success team. So let's start there. Welcome, Chantelle.
Hello, Louisa. Thank you for getting together with me this afternoon and excited to discuss all of the things. I think it was really important what you said there about what is going on that's externally happening at the moment, because there'll always be things like you said. So I think it's really important to be ahead of that game and to be able to help and support and lead others on their journey. So yeah, excited to be here.
Oh, well, as everyone is getting to know you, let's start there. I would love to, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, where you live, all those things, so that we can get to know a little bit about you. I think that would be wonderful. And then we'll dive into some specifics for our community.
Yep,
It's like, what's
sounds
your
like a
name?
good idea.
What's your name and where'd you come from? It's like a classic
Love that.
line.
Love that. Yeah. Television hosting here at its
Yeah.
finest. I'm Chantelle and I am from the lovely UK in the southwest, Devon, live near the coast and near the countryside. Grew up in Cornwall with my lovely grandparents and yeah, get to live in a really nice area of the world. But I'm always jealous of you traveling at the at the moment. So hopefully soon I'll be able to join you nomading. But at the moment, live in a lovely part of the UK. It serves me well. It's very peaceful and tranquil and gives me a lot of that breathing space that a lot of us need to be able to expand into what we can do for the collective and expand ourselves and others. So yeah, it serves me well for my purpose.
It is such a beautiful part of the world. That's one of my favorite parts to visit when I'm in the UK. And actually, I'm taking my mum on holiday to Dorset when I come back to the UK in June. So we're going to meet up, which will be fabulous as well.
Yes, watch this space. We'll be doing days in the life. Get ready with me. We'll be taking over every online community going. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Spend a day
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah, it'd be really good fun. That would be really good fun. So let's dive in because obviously we've talked behind the scenes around, our vision as a company for our community and as the success lead. It would be great for people, I think, to hear your reflections in relation to how you see the vision for our community. So we'd love to let's start there to open up the conversation there.
Yeah, I think it's just providing people with a next step. For me, what's really important as being somebody that's a success advisor and being part of that in your team and our team together, it's really joining together with people to best support them. And I think as entrepreneurs and especially working online by ourselves a lot of the time, we're in our own little corners of the internet. I think it's really important to bring communities together because everybody's so busy doing their own things and creating their own courses, creating their own launches, their own masterclasses, and helping their own clients. But I think what's really important is that people can take a step back, especially in energetic work, and are open to receiving themselves as well. So for me, it's about joining people together, making new connections, ensuring that people do have a place where they can come and network with like-minded people that they might not have even thought about previously. Because like I said, we get stuck in our own little ways, our own little worlds, and we could sometimes close ourselves off, although, people will always say, you need to be connected, but it's like, are we actually are we actually finding those spaces that we really cherish? And time is so precious that we my kind of vision is to make sure that the right people are supported in the right places at the right timings. And for me, it's honoring people's journeys,
Mm.
respecting their journeys of where they're at or what they're looking for at the moment, and guiding them in the right direction, whether that's working with us or working with one of our colleagues, because that's one thing I love about your team and our team together, is that we have so many great connections that if it's something we can't help with, we can genuinely point you in the right direction of the right people for where you're at right now. So yeah, all about supporting, guiding, a projector in my human design. So that's just very natural and normal for me to just provide that kind of nurturing support and guidance. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love your energy, and that's why I was like, please come and join our team. So I'm so glad that you you have. Thank you for being with us and being part of our mission to help entrepreneurs to be able to make the impact that they're here to make, and for them
Yeah.
to be able to, evolve energetically and to really live at their highest potential, because there's always a higher potential than the one that we can currently see, because the one that we
Yeah.
currently see is in line with
Yeah.
our current consciousness. And that's something that we dive in deep into Dream Bigger in relation to really helping people to expand their vision. And I know that we've talked about, let's really, one of the key focuses and gifts that we can give our community is really helping the Dream Bigger community to grow, so that people are expanding their vision. And that they can do that whether they are, coming into the energetic edge for their free experience in relation to how we help people evolve their consciousness, or whether they are, also in the wealth portal, the body, or one of our certification programs. That the Dream Bigger can really help people with that piece, that first step, expanding their vision. And of course, there's always more that we can do, and to be able to hold it. Now, I just wanted to ask you something, because I know you've, as you've been come into our team, you've had the benefit of, being part of the Wealth Portal, being part of Dream Bigger, and being able to see that sort of behind the scenes, not only for yourself as, the lead and the success team, but also for you personally. So I thought I'd
Mhm.
love to hear some, your initial reflections of those experiences, because I think that gives people a behind the scenes peek, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I just think it's so important in business and for entrepreneurs to have that place and space that's outside of the strategy. And some of the shifts that I've really noticed by going to some of the teachings is that some things can be really subtle, because we help a lot of healers, a lot of coaches, psychics ourselves. It's actually being like opening yourself up to receiving, not just from a wealth perspective, but actually in all levels of abundance as well. And I think seeing some of the ladies um, in the program that we have at the moment, you can tell just by their like glow that they're achieving so much and that they're having real breakthroughs. And that's what I love seeing the most, is we can get in our own little spaces of the internet and we are busy doing our other things, but actually just being able to take that time for yourself and open yourself up to different types of healing and different types of modalities as well, to, like you said, expand your vision and your higher self as well, is just so beautiful to see. And I'm like, I feel like it's like my love language. I feel very full when I can see other people just like, oh yeah, this happened and this happened. And it might not be like, oh, I've got £1 million in my bank right now, but it's like we're getting there, we're working there, we're breaking through some of the resistance. I think resistance is a huge thing, especially as we do get older. We are just like, oh, I'm resisting that. I don't know why. And I think that's one of the great things that I've seen through working with yourself, is that those barriers, those limiting beliefs, just come down, and the resistance around things through the subconscious mind are just really being kind of shattered, and we're tackling them head on. So yeah, I love seeing people just grow and bloom and really doing the work that can feel really like scary, but
Yes.
really believing in themselves and moving through it. It's been really lovely to see.
You touched on something there that's so important around the resistance that comes up. I always say to people, it's not a matter if resistance comes up, it's a matter of when, and it will come
When,
up. And it can really surprise people how strong it feels. Like, you know, like their body is literally like diverting them away from the mission that they said that they wanted to, you know, achieve. And it's like, what is going on? And it's like, well, this is the resistance. And it could also be that where there is resistance, there's likely to be some energy reversals as well. And we dive in deep into this in the energetic edge. Well, I get people started in the energetic edge, and then when they come in to work with us in our programs, that's where we can really dive in deep and help them to move past this and then embody that next level. But ultimately, that resistance that we all have when we're stepping outside of that current version of ourselves, it's coming in because it's protecting a core fear that's part of our current identity. And I think when
yeah,
people really get that and that lands, then it's like, okay, this inner work, we get to do this inner work for the rest of our lives. This is, you know, if we're truly committed to expanding our consciousness, then there is no stopping. It's not like, oh, I went off and did some consciousness work and I'm done. I'm all good now. Because
yeah,
energy is always moving and there's always new experiences coming in that we're creating from what's going on internally. And then before we know it, we can imprint back beliefs that we might not have wanted to have been holding if we haven't been
yeah,
taking care of our consciousness. So it's a joy to see the insights that you're having, and I love seeing. I always share with my clients that, you know, it's that inner, we see the inner shifts first and then you
yeah,
start to see the outer shifts in your
yeah,
reality, which is so key for people to really get that, you know, our
yes,
consciousness creates our reality. So
yeah.
this
And I
has been a
think
joy.
the small things that people overlook, but the small things are so important. And you know, for me, it's always about celebrating like the real small wins that we're experiencing, because we often can be like, oh, you know, we don't have this yet in our business and we don't have that, and we're focusing on the things that we don't have yet, that we overlook like the small steps that we take every single day that are building towards that. So I love being able to notice the small nuances, and people are like, oh my gosh, they are literally like glowing and mentioning all these things that they wouldn't have even thought of expressing before. So I love seeing people's journeys and seeing them just so happy in it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I think, you know, all leaders, particularly when people have grown their businesses to that sort of, you know, I always talk about six figures, multi six figures, seven figures, just because it's an easy way for people to recognize where their business is at along their journey. But typically, you know, when
Mm,
you've been leading to that first six figures, can feel like there's the hardest one to kind of the nut to crack, as it were, because you're learning
yeah,
all the skills, you're learning your own craft, you're learning how to do marketing, you're learning doing all the things. But then, of course, once you've gone past that first six figures, is then moving to the next six figures. And then your leadership needs to change because you're leading a bigger team, or you're leading more than yourself. And
yeah,
those aspects around what have maybe coming up in terms of resistance is going to then transfer into other aspects of how you're running your business. And so I always say, you know, as we're growing and expanding, we grow everything and expand everything. And so often people will come to us within the energetic edge, and they're like a fear of burnout or anxiety has been bubbling up at this stage of business. So say first six figures, next six figures, you know, going to seven figures. And if we haven't dealt with the energetics and the foundational root around that, then we're just going to expand that anxiety. It's just going to come in a different way. So we might hear it, the voices in our head saying something different, but actually ultimately it's that the anxiety is still there because we haven't dealt with the root. So I just think this is the most important work that people can do, is to get their energy aligned and to focus on that. And this is why we run from time to time the energetic edge, um, because people need to have their energetic edge and know what their edge is so that they
yeah.
can expand it. Anyway,
I
as you
love
know,
it.
I could talk about all these things all the
I
time.
love the passion for it. Yeah, but it's so true. And I think if you can have all the strategy in the world, but if you're not, like you said, doing that work continuously, you're going to get left behind as well, because it's just so much that goes from, like you said, from four figures to five figures to six, seven, eight figures, that it's just gonna keep coming up to you in just different guises within your business. You're gonna be like, oh, that's weird. It feels the same, but it's just rearing itself as something else now. So it's just such important work for all of us to be doing.
Yes, yes. Now, I know you had some questions for me as well as part of our conversation. Do you want to hit me with them?
Yes, I would love to. Yeah, so I know we've been kind of discussing what is going on at the moment in your life, internally, externally. What are you kind of focusing on at the moment over the next quarter?
So I've got some exciting things coming up. So I'm about to leave to Florida tomorrow. So it's the duality, isn't it, of life. So I'm popping back to go and visit a friend who's not very well. And so whilst navigating that within our group of friends, then also going to be coming back to have some more fun things. And I'm going to Antigua in a week's time. I was just thinking, when am I doing that? So I'm really excited about going to Antigua. And this has been a year slow madding. Apparently that's the term. It's a new term, slow madding, which means I am moving around the world, but sort of spending 2 to 3 months in a place rather than a week or a couple of days. And I love that because I get to know an area and I can really see, like, do I want to stay here? So that's what I'm doing. My trip around the world is looking for my next home and enjoying the places a lot along the way. So Florida has been amazing. I've absolutely loved it. And I could definitely live in Delray Beach, which is where I'm right now. So that's one that's kind of gone onto the list. And then I'm off to Antigua for a month, which will be fantastic. I'm super excited about that. It's been a lifelong dream, actually. Talking about big dreams, that has been on my vision board, as it were, for years. Like, I found Facebook had reminded me of it, where there is a photograph of me, my mum, my brother, and my sister all talking about going to Antigua. It was about 10 years ago, I think, where we were all in some spa hotel talking about it. The plan was then for us all to go together. I'm going on my own, and we were trying to see if my sister and my mum could come out and join me. And just a little aside, the reason why I want to go to Antigua is because my dad used to be in the Navy, and when he was in the Navy, he was a navigator, and one of his jobs was to measure the seabed. And so he measured the seabed and discovered that the seabed was raised just off the island of Montserrat. And that area has been named after him. So it's called Havers Shoal. Now, as kids, Dad used to tell us this story, but he would wrap it up. He's a great storyteller. And he made up stories all the time. So we had Peter and Penny Penguin. I loved the stories about Peter and Penny Penguin. They were fantastic. And then he brought in this story about how he had discovered this island. And he would tell it in a way where it's like, and he went to find this island, and it was this amazing island. And then he would drop the kind of cliffhanger at the end and say the island was under the ocean, so you couldn't go and visit it. And I thought for years it was just one of those stories like Peter and Penny Penguin.
Yeah.
But actually it was true. And so that is a bit of a pilgrimage to go in honor of my dad, who passed 21 years ago now. So that's why I'm very excited to go and visit part of the planet that's named after him, even if it's at the bottom of the ocean. I can't get to it.
I just love that story. Like, I swear, the best storytellers, and you think, oh no, that is just a fiction. That is a story that you've just made up. But that is excellent. I love that so much. And I love that you said, like, it's been on your vision board for like 10 years. And it's interesting what you said there about dreaming bigger. How did you kind of keep that vision alive of doing that? Because I think in this space as well, people just want, and in this society, we want everything so quickly. But that is a real kind of story there in itself of like, that was on your vision board 10 years ago, and now that vision's actually coming alive. How did you keep that kind of in your mind's eye of like, we'll get there, we'll get there?
You know what? I forgot about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I set the vision and then I forgot about it, and it suddenly occurred to me that I had forgotten about it. And I think it was because it had become part of me, if that makes sense. So things like when I had my house in the UK, I had, I'd printed off the maps. I had a copy of the map.
Cool.
I had a copy of then on my phone, I had the naval ship that my dad was in when he discovered Havers Shoal, and the letter from the naval people saying that it was going to be named after him.
Wow.
The naval people.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
The Navy. Just the Navy. It's called the Navy. And then I got an artist actually to create a painting for me, which is of a beautiful blue planet. And in some of the early footage that people may have seen, if they've seen these blue planets behind me, one of them had Havers Shoal painted in gold on it, which was beautiful. And she'd done it from the map. And so I just had these reminders of my dad's kind of achievement, if you like, around me, and really that knowing that I was going to go there at some point. And it occurred to me while I was in Florida, I was like, oh, I'm just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Antigua. I can go there. And I talk about this a lot. It's when your vision becomes so normal, that's when it lands. So like, I'm an energetic resonance. It didn't feel like a great big, oh my God, amazing, I'm going to go to Antigua. I'm feeling excited, but it's feeling very normal.
Yeah.
Because I've already been there, if that makes sense. And I think that's the key thing, is that keeping going is becoming the energetic match to what it is that you desire. So that when you're in that space, it's like, of course I'm here. It's like flying business class for the first time, which I only did on the way over here. And was thinking, I always used to think, oh my God, I'll be so excited going into business class. But of course, that means it's just further away. And I remember walking in and I was like, just feels really normal. Of course, I'm here. This is wonderful. This is really great. Really appreciative of it. It was fabulous. But it didn't have that, oh my God, I'm so excited kind of thing, because this is just normal. This is how life is now. And I think that's a really key piece. And I'd love to hear people's reflections in relation to that, is when things have landed for you, have you recognized that it's just because it's become normal? It's like, of course you fly business class. Of course you have a 30K cash month. Of course you have a 50K cash month, or whatever that next level of business is for you. Of course you have a 100K cash month, because people are at different stages of business in our community. So just giving those different examples for people to resonate with, is when it feels like of normal, it's of course, that's when you're the energetic match. And it doesn't have that, oh my God, it's so exciting kind of feel to it. It has a more really appreciative, grateful feeling, if that makes sense.
Grounded.
Yes, grounded. That's a great way to
grounded in your appreciation, but it's like, this is my new normal. Like, of course, this is happening. So that's awesome. Amazing. Thank you. So that's a lot of life stuff going on. What's happening within the community with our lovely clients and our community that are coming in to join us? What do you have coming up within the community?
So we've got the Energetic Edge coming up on the 5th of May. And if you're not in there, you need to be in there. This is the most important thing you can gift yourself, for yourself, for your life, for your business. I believe people don't need more strategies, particularly established business owners. We know all the strategies. You might need to learn some AI. You might need to learn that, but you don't need another strategy. You don't need another funnel. We just need to move you over your energetic edge, whatever that edge is in relation to for you. And I talk about the blocks that come up for people. So think of these as your edges, the resonance rift, where your subconscious is running the show. The subconscious is going to give you 100% success rate in relation to whatever programming that you've got going on in here. And then our community tends to be very spiritual. And so we know that if do we want to live the life that our subconscious is programmed for? Or do we want to live the life that our soul has come down on this planet for? And there is often a rift between our levels of consciousness in relation to what our higher self desires, and then whatever story our conscious mind is coming up with, and then what is going on subconsciously. And so I call that the resonance rift. And so we really want to start to help people recognize where their edge is, so that they can move beyond it. And we have the somatic default set points as well. So just to speak to a couple here, because I think this is really important, and it speaks in relation to that aspect of where we're holding the vision and we think we're going to be really excited about that next vision. But then what can happen is we trigger a somatic default set point. So our nervous system gets triggered. And actually our nervous system that goes into flight, or freeze response in relation to that big vision, rather than being able to hold the energetic capacity of expanding towards that vision. Our nervous system's only going to let in what can feel familiar to us before it triggers those responses. So wealth isn't landing in a dysregulated body.
No.
So we need to expand it to be able to do that. So this is why this is so important. This is essential. And this is why I offer this, from time to time throughout the year. We give it as a complimentary gift to our community because this is absolutely essential. And as just to speak to another one of the blocks, and there are 6 that I dive in deep, and we uncover these on the second day of our energetic edge experience. But the third one that I just wanted to drop here is around the identity block, where our current identity becomes the block. Who you are now got you here to this current moment in time, but they can't get you to that next level. So we have to evolve our consciousness. And so this is why this is so important. And I know that people who are listening will be recognizing where because whenever we talk about this in the energetic edge, people start to kind of have these light bulbs going off around what has been their edge and where they've been holding themselves back. So just wanted to speak to that, so that it is time for, if you're an entrepreneur and you're wanting to make a bigger impact, you are likely at that 6 figures, multi 6 figures, 7 figures, then, that's where people I have found, they're in that space of like, this is about my mission here, making being able to fulfill my mission that my higher self came down here to fulfill. That's my commitment. That's what I'm here to do. And we know that to do that with more ease, more effortless, with less pressure, less feeling rushed, in a space of the nervous system feeling that it can expand and hold that next capacity, then this is the work that we need to do and to focus on. So if you're not in the energetic edge yet, then let us know in the comments below. We'll pop the link for the energetic edge below as well in the first comment, and pin that for you, because if you're not in there, what are you waiting for? Get in there. This is the most important thing. And then we have coming up in terms of our programs where our clients are wanting to go deeper. We have the body, which is starting on the 6th of May, which I'm super excited about. And this is the last time that I'm running it live. This is such a powerful energetic journey. It's a gift to see the healing that happens in terms of people's relationships with their bodies, and then what they're able to expand and hold for in terms of, life, love, business, wealth, all the things. Our relationships with our bodies are so key. So that the body is the inner work that your body has been craving for, because our bodies are speaking to us all the time. So if anyone who's saying, I've got digestive issues, or I've got this rash that's happening, or whatever, however the body's speaking to you, you've got this pain in your hip and the doctors can't find anything wrong, then come and check out the body. And I'd love to dive in and explore all of that with you, so that you can optimize your health and your wellness and your vitality, so that you can experience everything that life has got for you. And then we have got the Wealth Portal as well, which I absolutely love. Well, the Wealth Portal is our ongoing community. We have members coming in. They come in and join us for a 4-month live experience. They have access to the resources for life as well, which I'm super excited that people can have that. And many of our wealth portalers, they come in and they join the Dream Bigger, so they can expand their vision, and then they're working with us in the wealth portal around their wealth consciousness as well. And this is such important work to do if we are committed to making that impact that you are likely making if your business is making 7 figures, multi 7 figures, whatever it may be. Is we have to expand our wealth consciousness, and all the leaders that come in, they know that and they're committed to that. And so it's a joy to be on the journey with everybody and to be guiding them through that. So I'm excited to be opening up the doors again for the wealth portal. And I'm also teaching the Akashic Records level 3 coming up, which is super exciting as well. So our community members have done level 1 and 2 with us already, and so they're coming into the live immersion for the Akashic Records. And just as an aside, I only teach that live once a year, but anyone who's joining us throughout the year, they get access immediately to the replays from the last live session, and then they can come and join us for the next live immersion that I hold as well. We've got all our little communities that we have within each of the programs are fabulous, and many people, what's wonderful I find as well is because they come on the whole journey with us, is that they see friends that they're like, oh, I know you from the Akashic Records, oh, I know you from the Helix Method certification, oh, I know you from the Wealth Portal, or wherever it may be. So that is a huge joy, and we'll be opening up the doors for our Helix Method Mastery certification as well, which is our energy psychology component, as part of that. So we've got lots happening over the coming months, and I will be going to Thailand in mid-July. So post Antigua, then we're coming to the UK. I'm going to hook up with you in Dorset, and then I'm off to Thailand to see my sons, who I haven't seen for ages. So I'm very excited about that, and we'll be continuing offering our services whilst I'm over there as well, of course.
Amazing. There's so much going on, and I love being part of it and supporting you and the community and guiding them on what their next best thing is, because we do offer a lot, but they're all tied within each other, and it's great to see in different containers that people are in, like you said, not just the friendships that they're getting, but also the breakthroughs in all different areas. And I think that's what is really nice, is that there's something for everybody, but also there's always something that you can be expanding on, you can be building on, you can be dreaming bigger and expanding that vision as well. So yeah, it's so exciting to hear you so passionate and excited about everything that we've got coming up. So fantastic. Okay, and then that's a lot of the inner work that we've been discussing. The inner work of how we could help and support people expand and go into their highest versions of themselves. One thing I'm really interested in is what challenges do you foresee at the moment professionally in this space? And I know you touched on one good thing, which was AI. Tell me more about that the external space that you're seeing in the community at the moment.
Yeah, such an important question for all entrepreneurs with whatever background or industry that they're in as well, because the truth is there's always something going on. There's always fear mongering in some form or another, whether it's, we've seen it with pandemics, with wars. There's always a war going on in some part of the world. Some of them don't even make it to the media. We don't actually have that kind of awareness in our consciousness, but then the media, because of whatever narrative that they're pushing, we will hear more about other ones, and whichever country it is, and all of that sort of stuff. And so I think that there is so much to be mindful of in terms of there's always something going on, whether it's the financial markets are going to crash, the cost of living, the wars that are going on, the pandemics, the communities that are experiencing systemic racism, or whatever it may be. There is always something that's going on, and then coming into the conversation of the narrative. And then of course we can respond in fear, or we can think about, in relation to this aspect, this chaos, this aspect that is creating noise, for want of a better phrase, in the consciousness. The question I always ask myself is, what is mine to do? And I find that really helpful to think about, rather than thinking, oh my God, I've got to go and try and kind of sort out everything. is to think about, actually, what is mine to do in relation to our businesses, our vessels for being able to make a difference. And each one of us is going to have different resources that we've got available to us in terms of networks, financial resources, energy, positions in, wherever we are living in the world, we're going to have those different aspects available to us. And within that is what is mine to do. And I think that is really helpful to be able for us to stay focused, to think about what are we being energetically aligned to, so that we can continue to deliver that what we've come here to deliver, and recognizing that within that. And that's not to say that it's you know, because business isn't for the faint-hearted. You know, that's why this work around really expanding our energetic intelligence is so helpful, is recognizing that we need to move forward with one foot. If we're witnessing atrocities that people are experiencing, is, you know, one foot in grief for our humanity, and one foot in what is mine to do and moving forward, so that we're not kind of burying or bypassing or trying to kind of say, oh, that's not going on over here. It's like, okay, I'm with those humans over there in my heart. I'm recognizing there's some things that are out of alignment with values that I don't agree with. But not everybody's here to be the advocates. That's not the word. We all want to be advocates. What's the one when you go marching? And you go, I just tried to think, well, you know, with people who get really passionate about
But protesting.
Thank you, that's the
Okay.
word. Not
Brain fog
everybody's
here.
role is a protester, you know.
Yes.
It's that's what I mean, is like, it doesn't mean that we're not passionate about what we're seeing in the
Yes.
world around us. It's like, what is mine to do?
Mm.
Where can I
Yeah.
have the biggest impact? And so I offer that for people to reflect, to see if that's helpful in thinking about, okay, we've got all of this going on over here. Where can I walk with one foot in recognizing that that's not feeling in alignment, but keep walking forward, so that I can stay focused on what is mine to do to deliver the mission that I came here to deliver. Because as entrepreneurs, we have the capacity to create the income that we desire to create, whatever limit that you want to put on it, and to create opportunities for others, to give other people's jobs, livelihoods. So wealth is an ascension tool. It truly is. And that's why I love to talk about it, because it means that we want to have people, more people having more and more resources available to them to support them with where they desire to go. And, you know, money is one of the biggest stresses for people in the world, you know, and that stress has a huge impact on our health, and then you get sick and all the things. And so it's a huge part of our healing journey to expand our consciousness. And so for me, I think there's always challenges in the professional space. You know, when I think about when I started in 2016, you know, and before then I was leading businesses within social services. If it wasn't one thing, it was another, you know. If it wasn't, they were, you know, when I was in social services, they were cutting budgets because there was financial hoo-ha going on back then. And of course, I have seen, and I'm sure many people have seen, that we go in these cycles. And we're always moving into one cycle and out of a cycle. And depending on the narrative that you want to listen to, people will be creating fear around it. What we need to do as entrepreneurs is to be minding our energy, taking care of our consciousness, thinking about what is ours to do, getting ourselves energetically aligned, so that we can heal and to continue to lead into that new era. And as part of that, what we're seeing now, which is such a huge shift, is this aspect around AI. And I had a great conversation yesterday with a guest on our podcast, Ursula Menches, who's a dear friend of mine as well. We were talking around AI, and she was saying her reflections around AI is an extension of our consciousness, which I thought was absolutely beautiful. It's like, how can we partner with AI to use it in our businesses, to be really smart about being able to work more freely, so that we're not working harder, we're working smarter. And the AI is actually giving us some time back, so that we've got more time, more spaciousness to live our precious lives, to claim more of life, and to be able to be in that space of embracing change, where we can see that there's opportunities for growth and expansion, and then thinking about what is mine to do, where there are things that are out of alignment with humanity, so that we can recognize that we are contributing to the collective by taking care of that piece that is ours to do. And if it is protesting, then that's awesome, because that will be for some people to do. But if it's creating a resource for others, and that is yours to do, then that's awesome too. We need everybody to be doing the bit, whatever their bit is, for them to do.
I love that so much. I think that's such a powerful reminder as well. What is ours to do? And I think that's a really good thing to keep going back to through all the noise and all the chaos and all the social media and all the media. It's like, let's stay focused on what is ours to do. What can we keep coming back to that? What is ours to do, and really staying focused. So I really love that. And I really love that AI can give you your time back to work smarter and not harder. That's a really beautiful way of embracing something that people are getting slightly concerned about at the moment that I can see. So I really love that it's like that seamless extension of who you are. And I think there's going to be a lot, even in the spiritual community, of using it as best we can and not fearing it, but actually gives your time back. It should be a seamless extension of who you are and really embracing that. So I'm excited to see where it all goes, but I really love those insights. And yeah, what is ours to do is going to be sticking with me. It's really beautiful. Thank you,
Awesome.
Louisa.
Oh, thank you, Chantelle. It's been wonderful to jump on and have this conversation together and to share these reflections with our community. And thank you, everybody who has joined us. I hope that this conversation has served you. And for those of you that are joining us in the Energetic Edge, we will see you there. We cannot wait to support you. And thank you for allowing us to contribute to you. And until next time, we will see you very, very soon. Sending